During the German occupation of Czechoslovakia, Allied intelligence noticed something strange. High-ranking Nazi officers kept dying in car crashes in a country with no active front line, at a rate that started to look less like bad luck and more like a pattern. The car involved, almost every time, was the same one: sleek, fast, and startlingly modern for its era. Allied soldiers eventually started calling it, half as a joke, Czechoslovakia's secret weapon. This is the story of the Tatra 77. In 1934, the Czechoslovak manufacturer Tatra, based in the town of Kupřesnice, unveiled a car unlike anything else on the road anywhere in the world. Designed under chief engineer Hans Ledwinka, with aerodynamic input from Paul Jarret, an engineer who'd made his name shaping the airframes of Zeppelin airships, the Tatra 77 was the first seriously mass-produced car ever built around genuine wind tunnel-tested aerodynamics. Its body tapered into a distinctive teardrop shape, capped with a single fin running along the roofline toward the rear, purely functional, designed to keep the car stable in crosswinds at speed. The wheels were faired in wherever possible. The engine, a substantial air-cooled V8, sat mounted at the rear, over the rear axle, a genuinely unusual layout for a production sedan at the time. The results were remarkable. The Tatra 77 could reach speeds over 90 miles an hour, extraordinary for 1934, all while using notably less fuel than conventional cars of similar size and power, purely because it cut through the air so much more efficiently. It looked, and performed, like nothing else being built anywhere in Europe. Adolf Hitler reportedly saw the car and was deeply impressed by it, going so far as to instruct his own engineer, Ferdinand Porsche, that the Volkswagen Beetle he'd been commissioned to design should follow a similar formula: a rear-mounted, air-cooled engine in a smoothly streamlined body. Tatra noticed the resemblance too, and reportedly attempted to pursue legal action over the design similarities. Once Germany invaded and occupied Czechoslovakia in 1938, that legal effort went nowhere, at least for the time being. Decades later, long after the war, Volkswagen and Tatra reportedly reached a financial settlement acknowledging the design's influence, though records on the exact terms remain incomplete. But the real twist in the Tatra 77's story played out on German roads themselves. Once Czechoslovakia was under German occupation, Tatras, including the improved successor model, the Tatra 87, became genuinely popular among Nazi officers stationed there. They were fast, comfortable, visually striking, and perfect for covering long distances quickly on Germany's new autobahns. Officers loved driving them hard. That was the problem. With so much of the car's weight concentrated over the rear axle, the Tatra's handling turned genuinely dangerous the moment a driver pushed it too hard into a fast corner. The rear end would break loose unpredictably, throwing the car into an oversteer spin that a driver used to a conventional front-engine, front-heavy car simply wasn't prepared for. Officer after officer discovered this the hard way, at high speed, with fatal results. Reports from the period describe a wave of crashes serious enough that, by some accounts, more high-ranking German officers were killed driving Tatras during the occupation than were lost in certain periods of active combat nearby. Whether every detail of that comparison holds up to modern scrutiny is debated, but the pattern of crashes itself is well documented, and the dark joke it inspired among Allied troops, Czechoslovakia's secret weapon, spread widely enough to become part of the car's permanent legend. Tatra kept building the 77 and its successors through the war years and into the early post-war period, but total production of the original 77 stayed remarkably small, around 255 examples built between 1934 and 1938 alone. Today, fewer than 20 are believed to survive anywhere in the world, making surviving examples extraordinarily rare and valuable among collectors, some reportedly changing hands for well over $800,000 when they do come up for sale. The Tatra 77 never set out to be a weapon. Hans Ledwinka and Paul Jarret built it to solve a straightforward engineering problem: how to move a car through the air more efficiently than anyone had managed before. That it also happened to expose the difference between a car built for pure speed and a driver skilled enough to actually control it, at exactly the wrong moment for the men behind the wheel, was never part of the design brief. It just turned out to be true. Do you think the Tatra 77's reputation as a killer of Nazi officers is historically fair, or do you think any unfamiliar rear-engine car would have caused the same problem for inexperienced drivers pushing it too hard? Let me know what you think in the comments.